And we're live. And we're on. How we doing, everyone? Let me move some of this out the way. Get out the way. Oh my goodness, what a good week we've had. Weather's been cool, a little overcast. Had a PCA track day at Pacific. We were not able to attend. Busy working. It happens. But we had some friends there. Friends hitting new personal bests in their new LabRats, which is great. Love to see it when customers are out there in the world and continue to push their cars, push themselves, and keep improving. That's the word I'm looking for. Improving. So we have Frank August in the glass tonight. It's Frank August bourbon, little grapefruit bitters. Yeah, it is a little annoying. Our blow off valve is blowing off behind us, so that's nice. CD is tirado. He had a that's tired for those of you who do not speak Espanol. What's up, Orest? How you doing, brother? He is taking off for home after he's helping one of our guys change a plug a tire in his car. And did two alignments, one on Justin's rig and one on Ramses's rig, which are, for those of you that know Charles, alignments are his very favoritist thing in the world to do. Absolutely very favoritist. Right next to pulling out his own toenails. But he is embracing the suck, so to speak, something I need to do more of when I'm on a bicycle. And any of you who have LabRats in the local area or cars with MCS or any of that ilk, please reach out. We would like to see your car on our alignment rack because we got some secret sauce we'd like to share with you and get it dialed in. So when you're around, it's not a big rush, but when you're around, drop by. We got some cool videos to show you this afternoon. It's almost evening. 4:30 is pushing evening, not quite there. We dropped 2 new videos. They've been in the can for a while, so to speak, movie speak. In the hard drive for a while now. That isn't even in a can. In the SD card for a while. They've been in the SD card for a while. That's probably more appropriate. Digitized. There we go. They've been digitized for a while. I'll just belabor that point forever here. It is Mr. Dundon and myself discussing engine basics. And we kind of bob and weave about basics and not basics. First video we dropped is an intro. All the topics we plan to cover. And the second one is rotating assembly. So very nice. That's intro to engines. And then rotating assembly. And we get into pistons and piston rings and rods and crankshafts and not too crazy deep, but we do kind of float around into more advanced topics and whatnot. For those of you who don't know any of the words that we're talking about, you should absolutely watch this. For those of you who are rotating assembly curious, you can absolutely tune in and understand what you might be curious about. Again, kudos to our media team, to Justin, to Kirk Meyer, to Alex out in Spain, getting all these across the line. We've had them in for a while, and we're going to start we were finally getting the production process dialed in so that we can get these across the line in a more regular cadence. So we're excited to do that. We had a special guest this week. Our friend Mike Kojima was in the house. And he dropped by because of Formula Drift. And we did a suspension kind of blog section, a Whiskey Friday Academy suspension bit where I learned some stuff, which is awesome because Mike is a great teacher. Lots of hand waving and hand movements. And, we're trying to flag in airplanes on carriers and whatnot. Yep. Spin the propeller and then crank the pulley to the left Keep cranking it to the left. Yep, exactly. Exactly right. See? Almost looks like we know what we're talking about up there. So, also got Alex some advertising goodies on all of our suspension parts and what they do. So, it's been a busy week. A lot of Jamie on camera. Awesome. Glad I got a haircut. We've been exploring, use that word, exploring, as we do on occasion. What's up, Rob S? Call the ball. Exactly. Get your ass on the ground. You don't know what you're doing. Exploring some advanced and interesting new carbon fiber manufacturing techniques. So some of what we make currently is fantastic. It's great. Works really well. This is Orist and I will be. Orist will be joining us next week. He has, among many talents, one of them is a broad and thorough knowledge of carbon fiber manufacturing methods, and what is appropriate for what. We're not trying to build missile cones, but we are trying to build some pretty cutting edge stuff. There's a new player in the market with an interesting new process that can build what typically would be multiple parts glued together and kind of joined, if you will, as one piece. So that's interesting. And since we're trying to keep as much of the products that make sense to be made here in the US, which are all of these structural products, anything that if someone were to die, we want to make sure that, that started horribly. All the things that are mission critical for them to never fail must be made domestically. Things that are inexpensive and need to be shiny, we're going to shop for the most competitive supplier. So, yeah, Flexi Dundon Wing coming soon. That's called in situ DRS, brother. That's how we make it. It's called the noodle. We're gonna noodle that shit. Welcome, Felix. Thanks for joining, brother. Should have early next week. The pile of LabRat goodness will be headed your way for the LabRat that is being made in your neck of the woods, which will be really cool. So you can put that up. Yeah, there we go. Bunch of Valkyries, bunch of carbon fiber wings. Love seeing all these things out here. Thermoplastic wing, I love it. Make it. Hey, there's somebody else. What's going on, Larry? There's somebody else that uses thermoplastic for aerodynamic parts, and we stopped playing with them because their shit was very bendy. So not a fan. Not a fan. But I'm gonna put my legs up here. Don't worry about the white legs. They won't hurt you, I promise. Oh, look at that. Special order. You set it here in the chair. Put my legs back down. Thank you, sir. So we're gonna run through this real quick because I told Mr. McCallum that we would. Glenn is my crack dealer, like I am y'all's crack dealer. I sell you cool parts. He sells me cool whiskey. One day when he buys a Porsche, then we'll actually be able to barter. So that's kind of cool. So what we got in here? We have Bumburgers. Bumburgers Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey. So this is one I had never heard of before. So we're going to try that at some point. We've got Shanks, which is a Michter's release. These are all special batch. This is bottle 840 of 2008. It's a 2024 release. Shanks Homestead. So we're going to go through these real quick just so everybody can see how much of an alcoholic I am. I will tell you this. Since I've been heavy on the bike, whiskey and cycling doesn't go well together. Whiskey on the evening before an early morning ride, body's kind of like, fuck you. No thanks. Not interested. You wore me out. Russell's Reserve 15. So the good news is my whiskey's lasting longer. So that's good news. More bicycle. This is a McCallum & Sons exclusive Nashville Barrel Company 6-year barrel 4256 108 proof cask strength. That should be delicious. And we've got Tumblin' Dice straight bourbon whiskey, heavy rye mash bill, single barrel. 58.50% alcohol, 117 proof. That should be interesting. Also selected by McCallum and Sons. Love that. Proof and wood. An Old Forester single barrel, always wonderful. Also for McCallum and Sons. Good for him. Knocking these out. These are great. And a special maker's mark. The Heart Release, caramel, chocolate, and maple. Mmm. Sounds like dessert in a bottle. But not tonight. We're going to try and do 50 miles tomorrow. We'll see how that goes. I'll just share this because, you know, some of y'all guys like me to just ramble about bullshit. I've been carnivore, mainly in support of my wife and her inflammation issues, fingers, and arthritis and shit. So I've been oh, yeah, there you go. Supporting husband and doing carnivore along with her. We've been doing this almost 2 years now. So the issue with carnivore, as I found, is in the cycling worlds, it's not really an accepted fueling strategy. So NBC has never let me down. I don't get it, but I'm sure you'll explain. So now I'm stuck with how do I fuel for extended distance cycling and not have my muscles be like, screw you, we're done, no thanks, not interested, and still be carnivore. So yeah, there you go. Get a little bit more of an up close, Justin, with the clutch turntable action. So I bought some fruit, which I'm probably going to cut up into some bags to try and fuel. See how that goes. Ah, Natural Barrel Company. Yeah, right on. So be my first one, honestly, Rob. I haven't had it before, so that'll be cool. But yeah, experimenting, because everybody's body's different. A lot of my buddies that cycle have been cycling for a long time. They have ridiculous threshold power numbers. Like Francis, one of our buddies, great driver, an absolute lover of cars, both JDM and German. He's had many of both. Back in the day, he would go out and he was riding to work when he lived in the Bay Area, and he still can put down over 300 watts on his bike without too much issue. So anyway, enough about bikes, enough about that. Let's talk. First topic is why should you buy aftermarket performance parts? So this was kind of brought up in a not exactly couched this way earlier today, but it's similar because, you know, the cars that we work on are really great. So why should you need to do anything to them? Well, simple answer is you don't. You don't. This is all want for the most part. There are a few needs. We'll cue this video so you guys can see it. This is actually really cool. So these are both current customers. Cars are in different states. The left one is a 992 GT3. The right one is a GT4 RS. And no, the GT4 RS is not faster stock than a 992 GT3. We'll just answer that question right off the bat. So you guys can kind of make out some of the miles per hour as we're going around. Can you scooch that just a tiny bit left so they can make out? They can't see it in the screen. The miles per hour. The left side miles per hour. They're kind of, the first digit is off the screen. Yeah. You got to drag it in a little bit. Oh, yeah. Almost. Oh, it's not good. Yeah, on my. Oh, is it just on my screen? Oh, okay. So they can see it. I can't. That's fine. So you can see the. What's up, Justin? How you doing? Yeah, well, that depends on who's got bigger balls. So, um, going faster in reverse. Uh, the car on the right's able to carry more speed through a number of areas, mainly because of driver commitment and driver confidence. That's the biggest takeaway between the two. Now, why are these two drivers? And I would say they're both equivalent skill levels for various things. They've both been driving for a while. They're both buddies of mine. We drive together. I trust them implicitly on track. Um, and they're both in very competent cars with similar tires. They're not so different. Um, but one of them's carrying more speed in and out of corners, through scary places, et cetera, et cetera. And why is that? Is it one of them is a more skilled driver? Is it one of them is driving a more competent car? Well, what's going on, Mike? How you doing? Aloha Friday, brother. Um, the reason for buying aftermarket parts. First one would be safety. First one's safety. So if you're going to take your car on track, you should absolutely get your brake fluid flushed with, .5 or quote racing brake fluid. Pads are, yeah, maybe you don't have to, but if you want to, you can. The car will like it better as it's going around the track. But Porsche generally puts good pads on GT cars. You should get a harness bar. You should get a harness. You should get a Hans to go around with your helmet. That way you don't break your neck in case you suddenly decelerate quickly by some crazy means. So those are the first things. The next things should be alignment-based aftermarket parts, because Porsche doesn't always give you all the alignment choices you might want to be able to get the car dialed in the way it needs to be. You should sometimes need tie rods or extended inner control arms with more room for shims. On a 992, you might need upper camber links. On a 718 GT4, you might need rear tie rods to remove some bump steer. There's a number of things that become optional as you're trying to improve tire wear and dial the car in so that it handles well on track. Great. So we went through safety, went through alignment. Now we're kind of getting into, we'll call them higher level mods, right? So higher level stuff. Why would you want to do the higher level stuff? Because, like MCS, why would you put a motorsports damper on a car that is obviously very capable? The car on the left went as fast as a 125.9. Not in this lap. This lap's a little slower than that. It just happened to be the one that we saw on social media that we grabbed. And the one on the right, absolutely, bro. That's what I was just saying. So Ed has joined us, the one on the left. I didn't name names. I just said they're just people. But yes, because one of them was working on putting together coaching on the driver mod, which is great. And like I said, he had already gone pretty quick that day. Already gone pretty quick. But again, I don't know, Ed, if you heard the where I started earlier. Both drivers, I would say, are equivalent or close to equivalent skill set. Both similar experience level. One of them has parts that gives them potentially more confidence in the car, and therefore can possibly commit to throttle earlier, can carry more speed through areas that are a little scarier through the track, et cetera, et cetera. So things like three-way dampers that allow for blow off on bumpy tracks to keep the car settled, and tires in contact with the ground, et cetera, may be something that is advantageous for both beginner and accomplished drivers because of the extra bandwidth it gives the car. It gives the car more ability to keep grip when the stock car runs out of it. Things like adding aero, again, give the car more bandwidth. Why did Porsche add aero to the GT3 RS? So that it would have more capability, so that drivers would be able to be more competent, more confident, and go faster. This is why you add parts to an already competent car. So saying that you don't need aftermarket parts, no one needs aftermarket. Nobody needs aftermarket. We could all, quite frankly, be driving Miatas. Nobody needs a GT3 by that logic. Nobody needs to drive on track by that logic. But we do. We like it. We love it. We want to continue to do it. And our obsessive personalities that are part of this tribe all together, all of us, are trying our best to continue to improve ourselves, enjoy what we do, enjoy it in a way that's safe, enjoy it in a way that we continue to improve our own capabilities, and try and inch closer to those that are absolutely, Ed, exactly right. And Ealing, you're 100%. Confidence and stability is good for everyone. It's good for everyone. It makes us all calmer, better drivers, easier to predict what the car is going to do, right? You know, I still remember the day Ted drove the GT4 RS bone stock at not Pacific Raceways. Pacific Raceways is a bumpy, I'll use the word dangerous, because there's not a lot of runoff, and when something bad happens, you're kind of along for the ride. You can't fix it. And he didn't want to drive it again. He's like, nope, I'm good. I don't need to drive this anymore because it's not doing anything that I want it to do. I would need to do a lot to it to even get it to be remotely close. This is Ted in the right-hand car. This was just a couple months back. This is June, right? Yeah. So this is Ted in the GT4 RS on the right. And he put down, oh wait, it stopped. There we go. Hold on. Technical difficulties. There we go. So the owner of the car went, and this is smoking fast for John, and we're really all super proud of him and happy for him. He went 125.4, 125.3, I forget what it was, something like that. And this is a pro driver in the same car, same setup. And I think Ted goes 122.7, something like that. So, like, almost 3 seconds faster. So, yes, pro drivers go faster in the same car. That's never been a question. But how do we find easily those things to be able to work on that they do naturally? You do it in a car that's stable and predictable and isn't in your head. That's how. So the mods that the upgrades that Dundon supplies, we test, we really push, we really try to make sure that when we suggest them, they are truly going to be advantageous for you, right? We're not selling snake oil. We're not trying to just take your money. I'm the first one to tell people, do this slowly, do it in this order. You don't have to do it all at once. Because that's how I try and do things. I like the car to be fresh and new for me. It makes the buying a new car cycle longer. You don't have to continue to buy new cars all the time. Now, if you want to call me and be like, I want a LabRat right now because I'm thinking Manti or LabRat, yeah, bring it. Absolutely. Let's build you a LabRat. You're going to love it. But you could do it in stages. We absolutely don't have to sell you all the shit at once. So that was that. Any questions on that? Any comments on that? Thanks you for joining, Ed. Paul and I are square, by the way. We did chat. We're good. You want to see if anybody has questions on any of the engine goodies? Yes. Someone that believes that has a 992 GT3 in our Aero absolutely believes in it. So that said, you may see some that are for sale, maybe, as cars get traded in for 992 GT3 RSs. So it's possible that that may happen. Do we have any questions? Do we have any questions from the audience? Anybody in here want to ask us anything? Ask us anything. I told you about biking. I told you about whiskey. Talked a little bit about why you might want to improve your vehicle. We did drop 2 new YouTube videos. Did anybody watch them yet? Orest might have because he shared it in the track chat earlier. First one's about 6 minutes. The second one's almost 20. So not crazy long, but long enough. What do you got there? This is 992 partial rat. No splitter. Yeah. So this is when he was almost in the 121s, right? Yeah. So this is Ted Lee in our 992. Appreciate that, Oris. Thank you. Yeah, and the editing, yes. Oh, right on, Rob. You watched them. That's great. Appreciate that. Wow, whoever's on the right's making him earn this pass. Damn. Who is that in the silver 991.2? Oh, I bet you that was Pat. That was probably Pat. Right? Yeah, that's a big bump through there. And oh, dude, Ealing, you're making my life hard tonight. That is a good question, but we'll come back to that. Minus 2/10, even though he was up like almost 2/10 going through 3A and 3B. It's crazy. He went faster in John's 4RS with the full kit. I suppose it's not crazy because this car doesn't have a splitter. So John's car is running substantial more downforce than this car did. So yeah, 123.06, and this is still on Dunlops, not on Supercar 3Rs. So, like, I think Ted said he could get a 121, but he would. Yeah, that takes a lot at that track. Which, I mean, holy hell, 121 at Pacific is stupid. I remember not long ago we were all tickled pink when we went 127. We're like, woohoo, 127, yeah, baby, new personal best, ha ha. And now everybody's like 121. So, of course, Ed, we send you everything with the MCS, and the coaching I would give you is run our alignment spec. It's fine for the street. You will not have that many street miles that you wear out the tires versus the track days that you have, where you absolutely will wear out the tires if you do something in between street and what our spec is for the car. So I would behoove you to do that. And if you run everything we tell you to do, then when you have a question, we can tell you what's going on. If you don't run what we tell you to do, then I don't know. I'm going to tell you, because you're not running you're not running the prescribed recipe. So Ealing has a great question. So is it possible to tune and get more power out of the 4.5 liter engine with redundant intake headers and exhaust? Asking for a friend. Thank you. They're very short. They're a little too short, honestly, to sit here. So that's why I got to cross my legs. I don't want to show you guys my hoo-ha. So Ealing, there's a multifaceted question. The short answer is yes, a redundant intake, redundant exhaust, et cetera, will help with a 4.5 liter engine. We've shown this here. The issue is with the tuning, because I don't want to tune 4.5 liter engines. And the reason I don't want to tune them is manyfold, because the people who are making the 4.5 liter engines are tuning them and tuning them the way that they want them tuned. And that's awesome. They should do that. There are known limitations in that engine control unit architecture that make it difficult to add to control some things. And in that regard, the guys that are doing it now and doing those engines and sending those tunes are doing it in a way that they need to do it. So I'm going to kind of leave it there, because this is a very public forum and I don't want to get in the way. We kind of said some things last week which were accurate and pertinent and true about when a car comes in and it needs octane boost, and then when you tune it on a lower octane and achieve a higher result, that you can infer from that the tune that it came in on thanks, Ed. Good thing I'm not the Dundon, so don't know that that's really me that we're talking about. Yeah, that's a dad joke. Cue the dad joke. If a tune for a higher octane produces less power than a tune for lower octane, then the inference is that the tune for the higher octane is potentially flawed in some way, or the car is not happy with that particular tune. And the tune for the lower octane producing more power, that means the engine is happier, generally speaking. So that's my takeaway from all of that. The answer to your question is related to that, and I would say that there probably is more to get, but I don't want to touch it. Leave it there. So I'm not sure why everyone would look at you funny when you're talking about getting some wang. Ed, it seems curious. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Cheers. What's everybody's track plans now that we're moving into fall? I know Texas is getting hot. I know Felix is looking forward to getting the tracks back open. I know Larry is looking to getting the tracks back open and cars getting back out there. I know Barry Minor will be interested to get his car back on track, especially when he's got all those goodies coming. I know Ealing is going to join us out there September 28th, so we got about 6 weeks. We'll be out in Texas at COTA. So that'll be a good time. That'll be a good time. So, well, Paul's car does look cooler than yours. It's because it has dive planes. Well, 3 dive planes. He lost one. So, yes, connect with Larry. Hit him up on hit him here in the chat. You and Larry can get together. Larry lives in Austin. He's not far from Coda. He knows all the boys. He knows all the connections. He's a local over there, so should be a good time. Absolutely. What else did we do this week? A lot of Mike Kojima. Oh, I went and shot my guns for the first time. It also sounds sexual. It's not supposed to be. You guys didn't know about that about me, did you? Haven't shot my guns before. Mike Kojima is a firearms coach, both NRA instructor and instructor of instructors. So since COVID, I have been armed and dangerous because I have never shot any of these guns with what's the right word? With instruction to know what the fuck I'm doing. So got my Glock 19 out, got it all dialed in. Mike was very pleased that his new pupil was doing very well. Not to pat myself on the back, but it seems I'm, according to him, better than most, which is cool. I don't know what the fuck that means, but it's like put the dot on the, shooting guns and slanging wangs. Love it. Also got my Patriots Ordnance 308, my AR. It's kind of like an AR-10. It's kind of more like an AR-15 that's chambered for a 308, but different. I don't want to denigrate the engineering that these boys did. And that motherfucker is loud. That's all I got to say. One ring. I got the picture. I can send it to, let me send it to, hold on, I'll send it to, yeah, I'll send it to General. Give me a sec. I got to find it. 1 second. Let me find it. That's too far back. There it is. Dang it. Dang it. You guys caught me flat-footed. 1 second. General, that one. View library. Show it to you guys here in a second. There we go. So this is not a fresh sheet, and this was still dialing it in. But I was pretty tight on the bullseye, and I went through a number of bullet holes a number of times. So if you're getting a wing, don't worry with a gurney flap. And you don't like how dive planes look on your car without a splitter anyway, Ed. So I would tell you to just chill until you can get the rest. Right? Seriously. So what's funny is the range has a rule you can only put 5 bullets in the round either way. So you only get to load 5. So we were still getting the sight scope. So you see the grouping kind of to the lower left. That was as we were getting it dialed. And then we made some adjustments, and then all of them in the middle were after that. So pretty happy with that. The ones like down and over was as I was getting my form corrected. So and what's funny is my wife's SIG P365, that just has iron sights, and Mike just wanted me to use those, and some of those in the middle are from that. So seems I shoot iron sights better than I shoot my red dot. So who'd thunk it? Anywho, gonna get back out to the range hopefully. I know it's kind of crazy. 5, like pop, all done. What the fuck? Load more, do it again, but it's fine. It's fine. Yeah, you can do them in your backyard, can't you, Ed? Just like set up. Ed lives in Idaho, so slightly different. Thank you, Oris. We'll have to get out together because I'm a member over here at the Gate Harbor Range, and I can bring friends. So there you go. When you come down this way, you can go to the range. Ealing, that's a good question. So we design all of our aerodynamics for streetcars to be optimized at OEM ride height. So you don't need to drop the car or make it really, really close to the ground and difficult to drive on the street. That said, the closer the car is to the ground, the more ground effect you will get, and the stronger that the splitter and the diffuser on the car will be working. So I would say leave it at ride height. There's no reason to push it lower. Leave it at ride height because that's what we have everything balanced, and that's what all of our recommendations for alignment and for wing angle and all the rest and brake and all that bit are based off of. So leave that there. We did that on purpose because we know they're street cars and they still have to make it into the Starbucks drive-thru. You know, you stop at the Starbucks drive-thru on the way to the track, get your latte, get your bacon, Gouda, and egg, get your ass headed to the track, eating your bacon, Gouda, and egg, trying not to spill the coffee in the car as you're going down the. Yeah, I'm talking about me. So definitely great question, but leave that alone. That's good just like that. So, yeah. Nobody's got any other questions. It's a little bit of a short one. That's all right. It's Friday night. Friday night's all right. Got time for 2 more questions. What do you guys got? Healing's brought some banging questions. He's asking good ones. Thank you, sir. Oh, anybody who's interested, I'm going to do a little leak here at the very end of this. We will be having a Labor Day sale. So, just saying. It's coming. Yeah. What Felix said. Pretty damn close to right. Absolutely. We did have a customer recently at Mosport. And he's got a full 991.2 GT3RS LabRat, so Aero, MCS, the whole bit. And he was having it kind of, there's a long downhill straight that comes into a braking zone and a severe uphill very quickly. And it smacks. It just smacks hard. So we actually got him some extended bump stops and some packers so that he can get that particular track really, really dialed in. So looking at picking up Mouse. What's the sweet spot price miles? So a 991.1 GT3 right now. If you can find one with an engine swap, I wouldn't pay more than 120 for it. I would look for them, get your specs. So 15s and 16s are going to have buckets. 14s won't have buckets because they didn't have buckets. For a track car, you need buckets. Unless you're going to put Recaros or some shit in it, which is meh. Yeah, the car market's going to continue to get pressured, I believe, because of the stock market not doing well, guys trying to unload 991.1s, 991.1s coming out of warranty, et cetera, et cetera. So if you can get one that has the new engine in it, that's going to be better because it has a new engine, period. Doesn't mean that new engine solves everything wrong with the 991.1. It doesn't, but it buys you time. In the end of the day, at 991.1, that's what you're looking for. Low miles, recent swap, somebody needs to get out of it. Look for a 15, maybe. Overall miles, I'm not so worried about. PDKs are relatively strong. And most of the things that go wrong with a PDK are easily fixed. Oh, nice. 991.1, 120K, I'd say up to 20,000 miles is fine. Getting one with a G6 that's been recently done, maybe 5, 6, 7,000 miles, great. I would still inspect it to see that the finger followers are clean, unscored, no issues, and then you're good to go. I'd say send it. So you may find some a little more than that. You may find some a little less than that. I'd say if you wait longer into the fall, you're going to find more and more of them because the 15s began getting delivered September, October, November. We'll see more and more of those coming up they don't have a warranty anymore, and the guys with 16s will begin to feel a little pressure and want to start to move them. So we should, I said in a couple weeks, we keep getting projects kind of dropped on us. Some of them our own doing, some of them done to us. Where are the lab rat? Hours in the day, brother. Hours in the day. We plan to get the engine out of the lab mouse probably at this point in September. I also want to get pumpkin dialed in September. So yeah, we got a lot of work to do. We always have a lot of work. There's never been a time we don't have a lot of work to do. So I appreciate everyone's time. You all have a wonderful weekend. Go out and ride some miles, do something good for your body. Air compressors blowing off steam. We should all blow off some steam. Go watch our videos. You might learn something. We'll drop some more on you next week. I think episodes 4 and 5 will be dropping next week, more than likely. And yeah, we'll go from there.